Okay, so I decided to move locations. This way I'm a little closer to Shanti. And I don't know, you can see the beach in the background if you don't just want to stare in my face for the whole time. Again, I'm reading book 1 from the Rui Institute, Reflections on the Life of the Spirit. So you're still with me. I'm going to continue reading it. It's only a couple more pages, so it's going to be long though, a few minutes. It is important to note here that achieving the first level of comprehension never involves a long discussion on the meaning of single words outside the context of the material being studied. In fact, most tutors find that using a dictionary to help the participants understand difficult words actually interferes with their learning. It seems far more useful to help them learn how to infer the meanings of words through discussion of whole phrases and paragraphs. The second level of comprehension is concerned with applying some of the concepts in the quotations to one's daily life. For example, exercise number 1 in the second section of the unit Understanding the Baha'is Writings, which asks the participant to identify certain types of conduct as commendable, is easy to answer. Yet it requires the group to think about some of the obvious applications of the corresponding quotation in the lesson. However, not all the exercises of this level can receive immediate and obvious answers. For instance, to decide whether the statement, quote, "there are so few good people in the world that their actions do not have any effect," end quote, is true or false. The students have to establish how this statement contradicts the corresponding quotations they have studied from the writings of Baha'u'llah. The third level of understanding requires the participants to think about the implications of the quotations for situations with no apparent or immediate connection with the theme of the quotation. For example, the question of whether Baha'is may confess their sins to others refers to the prohibition against confession as a means of absolving sin, a deep-rooted practice of Catholicism. The tutors should present this prohibition as the group consults on the implications of the verse, quote, "Bring thyself to account each day, ere thou art summoned to a reckoning," end quote. Many years of experience with the courses of the Rui Institute have shown that examining ideas at these 3 levels of understanding helps collaborators create the conscious basis of a life of service to the cause. But what may surprise someone who is unfamiliar with this experience is that efforts to prolong consultation on each idea beyond these levels by introducing too many related concepts actually diminish to a great extent the effectiveness of the courses. This is partly because each course should establish a rhythm of progress so that students will have a distinct sense that they are advancing rapidly according to their own capacities. This does not mean that lessons should be passed over quickly, Shanti, stay here, and superficially without careful analysis of the exercises. Groups that have taken the superficial approach, merely filling in answers, have never lasted beyond a few sessions. Interesting, okay, got it. The point to remember is that once an idea is understood and some insights into its applications have been gained.
You having some kind of meeting?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to come and sit down and listen if you'd like.
Anything interesting?
I'm just reading about, I'm going to start this book on, it's by Baha'i.
Yeah.
It's a Baha'i book. It's by Rui Institute anyway. It's called Reflections on the Life of the Spirit.
All right.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
So I'm going to learn all about just like wonderful spiritual goodness.
Become mindful, get in touch with things,
That's right.
learn to be.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Learn to be in the world, right?
It's a good thing to be.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, it's sometimes you think it's easy when you're by yourself, but then you've still got the chatter that goes on,
Yeah.
you know, so like letting it go and
Beach is a good place to do that.
yeah, it is. You live here?
No.
No.
Just visiting. My in-laws have a condo here where it's down. It's a good time of year, better than being in Boston.
Oh, I heard it's snowing.
Yes.
Oh,
This is better.
this is nice.
This little cutie. What's her name?
Her name is Shanti.
Shanti. Wow.
Shanti means peace.
Yes. And she's looking very friendly. Is that a Shih Tzu or what is it?
Yeah.
We have a Shih Tzu. One named Maxwell.
Oh, cool. How old is he?
12 years.
Wow. Nice. Come here, baby.
They're fun, actually. Maxwell thinks the whole neighborhood is his backyard.
She's like that. She's already started to go out and roam and
Yeah.
see the sights, you know, but little by little. So I have to just be there with her so she knows but she knows right where home is. And she's only 10 weeks old, so it's all good.
You'll enjoy it.
Cool. Thank you.
Alert from App Store. OS 10 updates available.
Thank you. Oh, we don't want that. Okay, so we're into it. Okay. Okay, now where are we? To share these ideas with friends on appropriate occasions conduces to joy and happiness. Another reason for the caution against prolonged discussions has to do with the habit of speculation that unfortunately develops in some of our communities from time to time. Let's see. Hi. It is natural that a verse from the writings should bring to mind myriads of noble and beautiful ideas. To share these ideas with the friends on appropriate occasions conduces to joy and happiness, but care must be taken so that this practice does not become an exercise in the aggression of ego and an insistence on the sovereignty of personal opinion. The experience of the Rui Institute has shown that we do not suppress the imagination or the personality of the participants when we refrain from posing questions such as, quote, "What does this mean to you?" End quote. On the contrary, we are helping to nurture the development of communities which look first to the writings as the principal basis of consultation whenever they are faced with a question. We believe that the habit of thinking about the implications of the writings with the minimum of personal interpretation would eliminate a great share of the disagreements which afflict consultation in many communities and would make the activities of our communities more effective. In preparing to teach the 3 units of this book, the tutor would do well to examine each section, categorize the exercises according to the 3 levels of comprehension, and if necessary, think of additional exercises that will stimulate consultation about each concept. The purpose of the first unit of the book, Understanding the Baha'is Writings, is to develop in the participants the habit of reading the writings and thinking about them, beginning at first with one-sentence statements. To read the holy writings every day, at least in the morning and at night, is one of the very important ordinances of the faith. But reading the writings is not the same as reading the thousands of pages that a literate person sees during a lifetime. To read the sacred word is to drink from the ocean of the divine revelation. It leads to the true spiritual understanding and generates forces that are necessary for the progress of the soul. In order to reach true understanding, however, one must think deeply about the meaning of each statement and its applications in one's own life and in the life of society. Come here, baby. Prayer is the second unit included in this book. In preparing to teach the unit, the tutor needs to reflect on its 3 principal objectives. The first is to clarify the concept of prayer itself and to help the participants understand its great importance as one of the laws of the disposition. In order to achieve this objective, it is sometimes necessary to dissipate doubts and carefully examine ideas that may have their roots in erroneous interpretations of the past. Above all, this objective implies clear understanding of the necessity to observe this law, a need that is no less essential than that of nourishing our bodies every day. What is it, honey? Beyond observing the law of prayer, each person must feel a profound desire to pray. Therefore, the second objective of this course is to awaken in participants the desire to converse with God and to feel the joy of being near Him. Moreover, from an early age, everyone should develop spiritual habits. The habit of praying daily is among the most important of these. Absolutely, and of course. Okay, the third objective of the course concerns the attitudes with which prayer should be approached. Unfortunately, humanity is steadily losing its understanding of how to pray, substituting empty and meaningless rituals for indispensable inner conditions. Therefore, the study groups should consult a great deal on the sections of the unit which refer to the attitudes of heart and mind that help one enter the state of prayer and to the conditions that should be created in one's surroundings at the time of prayer. Sure. Her name's Shanti. The third unit of this book, Life and Death, is a special challenge for the collaborators of the Rui Institute when they study it for the first time, and also later when, as tutors, they help others learn its content. The theme of life and death has been included in the first book of the Institute's program because it is considered essential for the participants' understanding of the paths of service they will choose to follow. Service in this world has to be understood in the fullest context of life, which extends beyond our earthly existence and continues forever as our souls progress through the worlds of God. In a process of education, in contrast to the mere acquisition of simple skills, it is essential that participants become increasingly conscious of the meaning and significance of what they are doing. As this consciousness emerges, students come to see themselves as active, responsible owners of their learning and not as passive recipients of information given to them by their teachers. Pretty day out there, huh?
It's gorgeous. Where'd you get her?
I got her in Chicago. I actually bought her from a little place in Lincoln Park. She was bred in, I think, Missouri.
She's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah?
I have had a couple of Shih Tzus, and I've been thinking about getting another one, and I think a Shih Tzu is what I would like to get. I had a female. She went for 7 years without a haircut, and she was very,
Nice.
very well groomed.
Yeah.
At 7 years, and her hair was just gorgeous. And of course, she'd always had her head in a top knot.
And see, that's what she reminds me of. Just something that I just want. She's so natural. I love her.
You get her so she was bred in Missouri. You got
I-
her at a puppy store.
I did, yeah. I could give you the information. It's called Pocket. It's like Pocket Puppies of Chicago, in
Well-
downtown Lincoln Park.
They had a puppy store here on North Lake, right by Home Depot,
Mm-hmm.
and then they closed.
A couple of them did around here. They weren't, they came in and they left. I think they've been there, they said, for 6 years. So that's a pretty good time.
But they had a lot of, say, like designer dogs, and they had some really pretty breeds. But they were